Hello everybody, Maven here, and I have always been intrigued by the Alethonym grenade launcher. For those that don't know, the Alethonym is that exotic primary rocket frame grenade launcher, basically the Mountaintop but with infinite ammo. And because the idea of such a thing would terrorize the Crucible, Bungie decided to make it the single most balanced weapon in the Crucible, aka they made it absolutely atrocious so that nobody would ever use it. But as aforementioned, this weapon has always intrigued me, and I knew that there was something that could be done with it. And over the past couple years since it has been released, I have build crafted time and time again to try to find something to do with this grenade launcher, and I've come up with great ideas that I really thought would work, but nothing just ever fit the bill until now, because I think I found the best use for it than I ever have before. Introducing the Superman build. You've already been seeing what this build does in the background gameplay, but I'm going to break it down in much further detail, so let's get to it. Hope you enjoy. Shout out to our sponsor, Advanced GG, the #1 gaming supplement in the world. Use code MAVEN at checkout for 10% off. Link down below. Thank you. So here's a demonstration of what this build does. You jump at someone, you shoot the floor with Alethonym, and Superman punch them in the face with Shiver Strike on Stasis Titan. That's about it. Now you're going to want a maxed out melee stat, so your melees do 20% more damage in PvP. Otherwise you won't do enough damage for this combo to kill unless you actually hit someone directly on with the Alethonym, which is almost never going to happen. But with maxed out melee, it's much more forgiving, and if you land your Alethonym shot about within 4 meters of where they are standing, like on the floor, the punch should pick up the kill a majority of the time, and max melee will do you wonders. Now, what exotic are we going to use for this build? Well, we are using the Armamentarium. You heard that correct, the Armamentarium. I'm not even kidding. And I know a lot of you will have questions, but just hear me out. This build took a lot of trial and error and took a lot of thought. So let's take it from the top. Obviously, getting our melee charge back is our #1 priority if we want to keep Supermaning people, right? So our first aspect is Howl of the Storm, which we are basically never going to use. The only reason we have it is because if you read the fine print at the bottom, it grants you a second melee charge, which is huge. We really want that if we're going to spam a lot of melees. Next up, our other aspect is Tectonic Harvest, which generates stasis shards whenever you break stasis crystals. And that's why we got our Glacier Grenades along with Whisper of Rending, so we can quickly mow them down with our primary. So whenever we have the opportunity, we just chuck a Glacier Grenade at the floor, break it for 5 small stasis shards, and we get a bunch of melee energy back. But this effect will be increased further by Whisper of Hunger, which increases the amount of melee energy back we get from our small baby stasis shards from 10% to 17.5%. So over the course of 1 Glacier Grenade, which would normally grant 50% of a melee charge back with its 5 crystals, we are now getting 87.5% back, which is a 75% increase. That's nearly a full melee charge back just for using 1 nade. And then when we break the crystals from our nade, that triggers 11 seconds of Whisper of Shards, which boosts our grenade regenerate by 150%. So we get them back super fast as well if we don't die right away. So yeah, the Armamentarium giving us a second grenade charge as its ability, we can just go back and forth between shooting down our crystals, refunding our melees, proccing impact induction on our gloves to get a chunk of nade energy back, as well as proccing Whisper of Shards. And we can kind of just loop our nades and melees back and forth on each other. I don't mean to toot my own horn here, but it's kind of a genius idea. Sure, having Cadmus Ridge Lance Cap would be very strong due to the fact that you can easily generate 3 Diamond Lances without even needing the Diamond Lance aspect equipped. Sure, it would be nice to have the Hoarfrost Z to turn our barricades into another row of stasis crystals and do our stasis shard shenanigans with, but the problem is that exotics like these is that they care about the class ability stat. This build really wants a maxed out melee stat for its forgiveness with the combo. And when I do that, I can barely reach an acceptable grenade stat as it is, let alone worrying about a third stat. So with the Armamentarium, we can pretty much just ignore our class stat entirely, just like the Cadmus Ridge and the Hoarfrost, and entirely dump all our stats into melee and pray for a tertiary nade stat on our armor drops that will suffice for our Glacier Grenade spam. So to answer your question, that is why we're rocking the Armamentarium on a melee build. I know it's weird, but it just works. Now in the gameplay, you may have seen me die a bunch after going for my combo. It's not all sunshine and rainbows. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it. Another great name for this build would be, quote, overcommitment, the build, unquote. because that is exactly what this build does. It holds W. It does not care. It would help if you went on YouTube and turned on a 1 hour of monkey noises video while you played with this build, because it would add to the experience. The build's not meant to be meta defining. It's meant to be fun, and fun is what it is. This is probably one of the most fun and satisfying Titan builds I've played in a long time. And if fun is what you're aiming for, then you should definitely give this a go. But I'm not done breaking it down just yet. We still got more to get to. So aside from the Alethonym Superman punching, our other weapon on this build is the Summoner with Heal Clip and Kill Clip, because it's great to go on streaks with, and it covers a wide variety of ranges. But you can use whatever primary you want as long as it has a kill perk and preferably Heal Clip, because I would say half the time you go for this combo, you won't pick up the kill, and you'll have to finish people off with your main primary, and that will be an easy way to get a kill perk rolling so you can start chaining kills. And what better way to do that than with Heal Clip and Kill Clip? So we're basically guaranteeing that we heal after any kill, because if we get a kill with our Heal Clip weapon, that's a heal right there. And if we get a kill with our Superman punch, that makes an orb with heavy-handed on our gauntlets, which then procs double recuperation on our boots to get a girthy amount of health back. So since this build is not rocking Diamond Lance, we gotta have these methods to make sure that we can follow up after our kills. And yes, it sucks to not have Diamond Lance. It also sucks to not have Cryoclasm, but I couldn't help it. This build needs Howl of the Storm, and it needs Tectonic Harvest to function. Anyways, let's break down the rest of our build. So here's a full image of my subclass. Pretty sure we went over everything except Whisper of Durance, which I have literally just for the +10 to the melee stat, and that's it. There are other more mechanically viable fragment options, but we desperately needed that +10 melee, seeing as how Whisper of Hunger gives you -10 melee. Now to break down the rest of our mods, we got Inflight Compensator, Targeting Loader, Dexterity, Unflinching, and then Reaper, Bomber Outreach on the class item, and Absolution, which was not yet mentioned, on the boots. Now for the stats, I already know that we talked about it a bunch, but just gonna let you know that it's gonna be real hard to max out your melee stat with this build. I have 199 unfortunately, because my Armamentarium is a 29 roll, pain, but with Whisper of Hunger giving you -20 melee stat, it's gonna be very rough reaching 200. But with Whisper of Durance, along with at least 2 pieces of tier 5 brawler armor with their RNG bonus stat in melee, you can reach it. You just need some luck. So next time you're farming an activity that drops a lot of armor, make sure you toss on that brawler mod on your ghost and pray to RNGs. So best of luck completing this build, because it's not easy, but the payoff is definitely worth it because it's a ton of fun. And again, I know I'm saying the build is just fun and it's not good, but in the hands of not only a Titan main, but also a good PvP player in general, this build could actually be very threatening and cheesy. But yeah, I'm not a Titan main in the Crucible, and I'm also not good. So if you're a Titan main and you are good, then seriously, this might be insane in your hands. It might not actually be as brain dead as just holding W and hoping you kill someone. There may be an art to this build. There may actually be a specific way that you want to use it that I haven't figured out yet. The way I see it is it's very similar to Prismatic Electro Slide Spam Warlock. And as someone who's mained that build for a while, I can tell you it definitely took some learning. At first, I did just want to mindlessly hold W. I did really give it no thought. All I wanted to do was Electro Slide whenever I got the chance, until I finally realized that you gotta pick the right opportunities instead of just being brain dead. So with that said, if you can master your opportunities with today's Ice Monkey build, then it might actually be stronger than I think. So anyways, that's going to do for this one. As always, a dim loadout link to the build is down below in the description, and also the pinned comment if you want to give it a try. And if you got any buddies who are Titan mains, I'd appreciate it if you consider sharing this video with them. Perhaps this is something they might want to try out as well. And that's going to do for the video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and drop a comment to please the gods of algorithm. Helps out a ton. If you're new here, please consider subscribing. Would love to have you here for more D2 content on the way, especially as we approach Renegades. It's going to be a lot of content to come, and I hope you have a nice day.